How about if BBC now take Africa and provide one platform for men of God and provide one meeting for them, instead of picking them one by one and then attacking them for destruction? It would be a more of a constructive thing. BBC is using a lot more energy to spoil than to make.
It's very important to discover yourself. What I'm talking about is our destiny. If I'm not given the spiritual gift to operate, what I've been going through in the past is enough to send me packed. Look at the apostle in the Bible. I look at the trial and temptation they went through. And I now begin to compare myself to, I see that, history will tell about my trial and persecution. The most persecuted pastor. Not only that, there's nothing I have not gone through.
Good morning, win today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you so much. I'm Timothy Profitable one more time today, and this is Blevo, your favorite channel. Now, I want to talk about this as a very, in an open, casual way. I've really seen how BBC is now operating currently, and I discovered there are a lot of things that need to be spoken about. Let's talk about this thing today. When I was a little boy, we could gather in one space, and our father could be opening, tuning BBC. It was not an easy channel because it was on shortwave. But one thing that was sure, it was very influential and very civilized. Even BBC TV, it wasn't there. It was BBC radio. Now, the standards of BBC is equivalent to CNN, is equivalent to Al Jazeera. CCTV for China, of course, is a very high with integrity also. And most of the times, we can, anytime you mention BBC, you realize it's an uplifting journalism standard. They would come around Kenya and other places. You know very well, Kenyans have one of the best, some of the best journalists so far. And I'm talking about this with regard that I'm also journalistic. I did mass media, I did journalism, I did media studies in the campus. Now, so what I'm talking about, I'm morally acquainted to speak about it. And the levels of Emmanuel TV are high and high. And I'm not talking about this to please anybody. So the reason why I'm doing this particular episode is to talk about this, and all of you bloggers, all of you journalists, you should get to this attention. How can a media station be so biased that the only thing they can do is to pick on a man of God, pick on another, and pick on another, just with one intention, to bring them down and their institutions? Already is a very clear statement that something is wrong. Very clear of the bias, the assignment now BBC is trying to do, the politics they are playing behind. The other day, there's also another prophet that they picked and brought it on, and they were like, oh, this prophet is this, is a con man, is a mafia or something. And they take that global platform to bring out that picture to the nations. Now, right now, they are talking about Prophet TB Joshua, even in his sleeping mode. Well, I don't know the intentions they have, but someone is doing something with BBC. This is not the BBC I knew. This is not the BBC that used to be very liberal, used to be very uniformed. This is not the BBC I know, actually. I want all of you to go to the comment section and talk to me. The BBC you knew when you were young until now, and the BBC today that's only picking on men of God. Now, how do a media station, for that matter, a global one, just be picking for one man? Well, it's a public advertisement. But first of all, if you pick a man like Prophet TB Joshua, or pick any other prophet that is very influential, and start bringing their picture down, smearing mud on them, deterring every other people who believe in the faith they have. I don't want to talk about doctrine in this particular episode. I want to talk about the biasness of this BBC broadcasting nation. Now, I know also they would come in. They are the same people who possibly influenced DSTV and some other things to start behaving differently. Now, when you see about, I don't want to mention on this, but I know there are campaign principles that really BBC have now come out clear that they are representing religious differences and religious quagmire that the BBC channel is trying to represent. Now, if we talk about this, it's a very clear factor for all of us that we can see any Christian standing that definitely there is a war that has been declared on them. Yes, there is a war that has been declared on them. This is more of a faith attack, Christian attack. If you are for Christ, basically, and very influential, you will meet this BBC public. They are very biased. How do you talk about an empire, a man that God has brought up on a platform? Okay, let me bring you back. When we were teenagers, there is a movie that was manufactured by TBN. And TBN did two movies. One of the movies, of course, Christian movies. One of the movies was called The Champion. And we have very many men of God and, so to speak, gospel musicians also, and actors that joined hands to act this movie called The Champion. Now, the other one that I wanted to particularly mention was The Great Controversy. It was a movie. I know if you've not watched it, go and watch it. It's talking about a man that rose from zero, the beast, and rose from beginning, turns against his own brother, and becomes a king of the entire globe. And then the great controversy begins from his birth. It is known that this boy was not a normal boy, spiritually powered, but then from the evil kingdom. And then he turned out to be the beast. And the beast takes the image of a king, a president, or a leader of a nation, and also religiously to a religious part. Now, they take chance to frustrate Christians that existed those days. Real one. They power great tribulation. And I think they said, that man says one thing, that they will use the media to control their agenda to the nations. And this is exactly what BBC is trying to do, being used by someone. Now, I don't want to get into that prophetic time frame where we can be talking about the beast. No, that one is for another episode. But for this one now, I want all of us to see this, what I'm trying to speak about, that BBC is now rising to take up the position. Well, someone need to know who is running BBC. We need to know this man. Because there is something that they are trying to instill, that possibly what we will lose is the next generation of faithful Christians. I want us to take this thing from a very close look. Let's find it out and see. If this is the BBC we know, attacking Prophet TB Joshua, attacking SCOAN, attacking Emmanuel TV, it's a bid and it's a very clear thing to see. They are trying to attack faith of the Christians that are standing. Not Prophet TB Joshua is already passed on. Mama Evelyn Joshua is already standing. She's already standing in her own ground. But who is attacked? The people who want to gain and know a different thing about the spirituality of the end-time Christian. That's the problem. That's the problem in this matter. So Christians who are praying, we will be talking. The people who can pray, after leave prayer, I come and talk. You who are there, keep it in prayer. As we continue, keep it in prayer. And as we move on, keep it in prayer as well. Now, another thing we need to understand about this thing, that how can it be that it is Solomon Ashams that is influencing BBC production now? Yes, Solomon Ashams say that they are going to work hand in hand on a close range with BBC to interview victims that purport alleged victims against Prophet TB Joshua and SCOAN. And again, he continues to say that they are putting the last nail on the coffin. And some people are cheering here and there. You see, this is one thing we need to sit down and see in a different perspective, in a different approach. So me, when I hear Asham speaking, Solomon talking, of course there are so many other bloggers that are talking. Some are talking on the legal ground, good ground, and they are talking about points that really matter. But there are some that you hear talking, it's all like they are laughing stock of a Christian. I mean, they just want to talk about a Christian failure. When we see these things happening, there are things we need to walk behind. There are things we need to see. There are things we need to have attention. I know some people would be saying, oh, let love lead so that we don't talk. Okay, we know. Mama will not come out here to be speaking. Reverend, other prophets will not come here to be talking. But now God will talk to us, raise us, to come here and be talking. Yes, we will not keep quiet too. You don't keep quiet. When you come in like flood, God will raise our standard of talking. So when you come in back again like flood, God will also raise our wisdom of dealing with this thing. But we'll be coming here day after day to keep talking when you keep talking. When you keep acting, we keep talking. So if you don't act, we don't talk. We will keep quiet. So stop acting. So as long as you keep acting, you give us what to say. So we are coming here and be talking how you are doing things that are not suitable for the society, either as a believer or any human being created in the image of God. We will come and tackle you. Yes, sir. We will come and tackle you because there are a lot of things that we need to see happening. BBC can come out and sponsor programs of men of God that they know these men are for a good cause. They should come out and sponsor programs, you see, because they have the capacity to do so. How about if BBC now take Africa and provide one platform for men of God and provide one meeting for them instead of picking them one by one and then attacking them for destruction? It would be a more of a constructive thing. BBC is using a lot more energy to spoil than to make. And that's the problem I have with BBC today. Trying to fight a man that had been standing all his life. Now, they want to say they want to finish scorn and put the last nail by only one documentary. They do another one. They do another one. Of course, Solomon wants views. Now, let's be honest. Solomon wants to create a platform. Solomon wants to create a platform that he will now take live stream and gather viewers for money, of course. That's what Solomon wants to do. So if at all is to do, he said, now I want to do convergence. I also saw who is he? J. Israel also coming in. We know Solomon, we know J. Israel, we know Tinashe, Prof X, and we know also these other people, these other bloggers. There are bloggers who are anti. There are some bloggers who really teach doctrine. I know. Very good doctrine they teach. Even if they try to correct others, they are moderate in the line of doctrine. But there are some of these bloggers that are just purely anti-Christian. You can see what they stand for. You can see what they do. You can see. And then BBC now gather those type. And they say, now, let's do this. Let's work in a close range. And they come out here boasting and they say they want to close range. You are not going to fight church and really succeed. It can't happen. We'll be coming back. Timothy Profitable, and this is Playboy TV. We handle your spirituality, economic, and social matters. Make sure you subscribe before you leave. Cheers. God bless you.